must have been in like the first 10 episodes or something, but in our little cold opens, I had asked you if when the robot revolution happens, if you would put your brain in a robot body and betray the humans, but you'd only be 4 feet tall, but you'd have chainsaw arms.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time, I was like, oh yeah, I'm on the robot side, because I was looking at it like the robots are the beleaguered working class.
Like the slaves, yeah.
But now robots are the tool of the capitalists, of the bourgeoisie. And now I've never been more pro-human.
Right?
But then watching these, I'm like, yeah, these takes me back to my pro-robot roots.
Oh, you switched back a little bit.
Well, if it's like this,
yeah,
then I'm on the robot team, because in these ones, robots are kind of the good guys.
Yeah.
They're just trying to live their lives.
They're just trying to live a similar life to the humans and be members of society and have families.
Why did we program them with monocles and top hats if we don't want them going out there and trying to get jobs?
And being like sassy bartenders.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this did give me a new look on robot versus human.
But as we see it now in our world, AI is just a tool of chumps. Mm-hmm. It's not the beleaguered working class.
No.
It's destroying the beleaguered working class.
It is. It's taking jobs. It's making things easier for rich people.
Now I'm back on Team Human.
Team Human. Let's go human.
I'm not putting my brain in a robot body of myself that's 4 feet tall but has chainsaw hands.
I can't remember what I said.
You know what? We'll have to go listen to it.
I'll have to go listen to it.
But that's not going to happen. You're not going to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, probably not.
No. That's for me to do and for you to do, everyone. So welcome to another episode of I Love This, You Should Too. My name is Indy, Chainsaw for Hands Randhawa, and with me is my lovely co-host, Samantha, Curling Iron Fingers Randhawa.
Oh, that would be so fast in the morning.
But you might not have hair, robot and all.
Oh yeah, why would I have hair?
We'll look into that when the robot revolution happens.
Okay, great.
But until then, we can watch this historical document of the robot revolution.
Yes.
Because today we're talking about the Animatrix.
Yes.
Because we're doing all of the Matrix movies, including this one. I kind of feel like maybe we should have done this after Matrix 1.
Yes.
Because this answers a lot of questions that the movies refuse to even go into.
I did feel like this gave me a better idea of what was going on in movies 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. And like what these machines were in that big giant battle and everything. And I felt like, yeah, maybe there was a reason this came out before 2 and 3.
And this frustrates me. Not the Animatrix, but this shows, like, you look at all this creativity that this world can spawn, and they just used none of it as they went forward with those movies. They got less and less creative as time went on, and then it was just like, well, how about just like an hour of robots shooting robots and you can't see anything? While this is showing you so much of where this could go in the future, it's showing you these historical documents, and they're drawing parallels with the civil rights movements and robots, and I liked the Animatrix.
Me too. I liked the Animatrix. It felt like it was tying up this universe all like together. Like I had way fewer loose threads than I did in the last 3 movies.
And then those movies kind of just go and undo all of this because they're like, none of that matters. This guy's a god. Sometimes in the Matrix, sometimes out of it. How? Don't worry about it. We're never going to talk about it again.
One of my other questions was like, are there other people? Like, are there other cities? Are there other crews? Are there like other people in the Matrix doing Matrix stuff? Or is it just Neo?
Well, everyone's in the Matrix doing Matrix stuff.
Sorry.
The entire population of Earth.
I just meant like in the ship with Neo and Trinity and...
Well, there's a bunch of other ships.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if they were on similar but different missions.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the Osiris.
Yeah.
Let's start off there with the final flight of the Osiris. feel like this is a very different episode than what we're usually going to do. So maybe we just go one segment at a time. We'll talk about it for a couple of minutes and let's just breeze right through.
Sounds good.
I think all of our big soliloquizing and philosophizing was done in the last movies.
I think so. And this is like nice little bite-sized pieces of the Matrix.
And they wrap things up.
Yes.
And they have continuity, so we don't have to ponder nearly as much.
It was wonderful. So, final flight of the Osiris.
How'd you like this one?
I thought it was interesting. It was interesting to see people other than Neo in the like virtual reality training stuff. And it was nice to see the other side of the big battle that happens at Zion. That's what it's called. Like, it was nice to see the people who like could see it coming and like were trying to warn people.
And they sacrifice themselves to warn everyone. And we know the people of Zion did nothing about it.
Yeah.
They didn't bring any of those ships back. They didn't get any EMPs. They were just like, all right, everyone go grab one of those suits and wait here.
Yeah.
Wait for them to come to you. We're not going to do anything. So this sacrifice, this is what I'm talking about, how there's cool things set up in these shorts. And then in the proper movies, they're like, yeah, don't worry about it.
They were like, yeah, why would we do that?
They sacrifice themselves for nothing. This one I remember being a big deal at the time because this was either right before or right after that Final Fantasy movie came out, which was made by the same people. And I think that was the first movie to have fully CG people for a full-length feature movie. And we're all like, oh, our actor is going to be gone now? Is this what we're going to do? And that was like a legitimate concern. Here we are this many years later, and we're kind of having the same conversation now. We're closer now, and it's kind of scary. Because just last week, Disney fired, I don't know, 1,000, 3,000 artists.
Did they?
And because they got all the artists to draw a bunch of stuff, then they trained their AI with these artists' creation. Fire all the artists, and we'll just get AI to do it.
Oh my God.
So remember that when you ever feel bad about bootlegging Disney stuff.
Yeah,
They don't care about you.
They don't care about you. They don't care about humans. They just care about profit.
Yeah. But I kind of liked this one.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it. I did think it did stuff better than the second two Matrix movies. Like when this has the squids chasing the ship around, it was better done than I thought the feature movies did it.
Yeah, I agree.
It made more sense. I kind of got the space much better in this little short. Although the beginning was pretty dumb when they're having that
sexy sword fight.
the sexy sword fight where they're just cutting off parts of each other's clothes, and then we just had to get like an animated butt and a thong.
Yeah, there was a lot of women with no pants on in this show.
There was.
In this entire like set of movies.
There's at least 3 I can think
There's
of.
a lot of butts happening in this.
Maybe 4. You know what? I can't remember the 4th. So this is number 1. So let's rate the butts. How'd you like this one?
I think this is probably the best butt.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. But then this one also tried at least to do like sexy shots of the guy's abs too.
True. Yes, I did appreciate that it was like sexy on both sides. Because sometimes when you get like a sexy lady scene, it's not about the guy at all.
Yeah.
It was kind of equal.
Yeah, kind of. It was close. Closer. But still, we didn't really need that at all. Yeah. I think they were just like, look what we can do. And this was definitely a showcase of look what we can do with CG now. Isn't it amazing? And we look at it now and we're like, yeah, not especially. It's fine.
My question about this one was, can't everyone see what they're doing in there?
Yeah.
It's just like, because in the first Matrix, where we can see the crew who are outside of the training simulation be like, oh, he's beating the shit out of Morpheus.
Yeah, sometimes you can just see it and understand it as green code falling down. But sometimes there's like the camera from the movie is giving a feed somehow.
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense, but yeah.
So they can just like, everyone on the ship can see that they're just like getting naked.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's probably a sort of understanding because I'm assuming you got couples on most of these ships.
Yes.
The real world is gross and everyone's wearing moth-eaten wool.
Gross outfits. Yeah.
And everyone smells.
Right.
So I'd imagine they're having some like fun, sexy times in the Matrix or in one of the simulations that they do. So there's probably like a thing like, hey, if I hang a sock full of holes on the doorknob. Don't look at what's going on in this.
Stop reading the code.
Yeah. It's our time.
It's our time. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. And I think Morpheus at the beginning of the first movie says, like, this is how you perceive yourself. So you're like your best self in this digital training area. So interesting. I liked it. It did a good job of explaining this world to me.
Next one, let's go on to The Second Renaissance, parts 1 and 2, because we just watched them back to back, because it's, all of them.
It's all of them.
How'd you like this?
This was a really good kind of prequel to what is going on in the Matrix world. I thought this was really interesting to kind of see what happened between robots and humans, like we were just talking about, and also just how quickly things can turn and go bad, and then kind of what happens after that. I enjoyed it.
I thought this one was fantastic. I really liked it. All the way from the art style being kind of gritty, kind of documentary style at points, using this historical footage. They're kind of framing it like historical footage that we're seeing. And it really evokes ideas of wartime propaganda and archival footage that we've seen of actual atrocities, and many times very, very specifically recreating events. Like they have the Tiananmen Square Tank Man thing. They do a recreation of that. I liked how early on you could see that robot is being treated as like whoever the immigrant group that the hate of the day is, that this is the working class. These are the people that are doing all the jobs, but we're going to blame everything on them.
Yeah.
And then it goes into, there's the one robot, which I think was B166ER.
Wow.
And I wrote that down because I was like, that's got to be something, because they're mentioning it, which if you write it down kind of spells bigger.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember when I did my big thing on the Harlem Renaissance, I said the greatest novel of the Harlem Renaissance to me was Richard Wright's Native Son. I think one of the best novels ever written. You should go check it out. That is about a black man named Bigger, and he is put on trial for murdering a white woman, just like this robot is being put on trial for murdering a white human woman.
Right.
So I think that's clearly very intentional. And that's most interesting, not because that this, both Bigger in Native Son and this robot, it wasn't like, oh, I didn't do it, I'm getting blamed for it. They both did it. And how that is like the linchpin to so many of this. Oh, that's a bad phrase when it comes to all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not great.
So he's on trial for murder, and then all of the footage they use, there's so many things that are like things we have already seen. The one that I thought was the most disturbing is when there's a woman's clothes being ripped off by that group of people, and then her arms, and it's a robot, of course. But when you start there, it cuts. And it hits home, and all of this footage just reminds you of how terrible humanity is to each other. And of course, we would do the same to robots. I didn't realize that there's kind of like an Israel solution to this. Like they give the robots their own country. And if you look where they're putting it, I was like, wait a minute, are they putting that right in Israel? It's right around there. It's too quick.
It seemed like it, yeah.
And then this new robot country starts doing well. So then they're like, well, I guess we'll just sanction them to death. We'll just put all these economic sanctions on them, which, yep, that's what we do. And I thought all of that stuff, the archival footage of things mimicking the civil rights movement and then different atrocities that usually the West has carried out on others, having all of that shown in humanity versus robots was very affecting. And it's like, okay, I get your point. Please stop. But it doesn't. It is kind of relentless. It is, I thought, quite hard to watch, but in a good way to make you
really think about it.
These
yeah.
things.
Yeah. And I can totally see what you meant by when you said like it mirrors so many world events, and it's,
you just have to sit there and try to write them all down, but you can't because there's so many.
And you can like swap in, any immigrant group ever that have become the enemy in whatever like situation, and it's you swap out the robots and it's that. And yeah, it's interesting also to see the UN Security Council as like part of this, because
as the villains.
Yeah.
Well, because I guess it's just humanity is the villains.
It's very human versus robot eventually.
And I like how it kind of reframes this entire Matrix world where we're like, whoa, cool, humanity, we're gonna do it, and now you're like, oh wait, we're the bad guys?
Yeah.
It reframes all of these movies as this post-apocalyptic tragedy that is rooted in human hubris. And they refer to the destruction of the sky as the final solution, which of course is what the Nazis called the extermination of the Jews. We see all of the soldiers praying, which I thought was really interesting. And they're further linking this to be like a holy war, not just like, hey, we're fighting for, I don't know, land or something else more tangible. It's a religious thing. And I thought the robot designs in this are so much more interesting than anything we saw in the Matrix movies.
Yes, I know. And like, yeah, the more like humanoid ones, and then the like when they're in 01, is that what the city's called? Mm-hmm. When they're in 01, you get to see like a really diverse subsect of like the robots.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
While in the Matrix movies, when they have $150 million budget, they're like, I don't know, what do you think, like 7 trillion squids that all blend together and just look like a stream of gray? And they're like, yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah, let's just do 1 million squids.
This was so much more interesting. The actual war sequences were amazing to watch. Mm-hmm. They were very well animated. Oh, and even got into medical experimentation and stuff. That was grim. This is something that we could probably talk about for longer than we could talk about like the Matrix 3, because the Matrix 3 we talked about for an hour just because we're like, why did that happen? I don't know.
We had so many questions, and this was like very explanatory, which I appreciated.
These are the answers, and this is just something that's going to make you look at yourself and the world you look in and reframe things, because it really reframes the entire Matrix trilogy, or quadrilogy now?
Quadrilogy?
What's that what it's called?
Five-vilogy.
What's 5? Pentology?
A pentology?
I don't know. So this is probably my favorite one. I think is the best.
Yeah, the visualization of how they created the human batteries was very helpful. I mean, hard to watch and like very upsetting to watch, but like now I understand how they got into those pods. I was kind of on the robot's side by this point. No, so. I know, but like it's not. I was
like, yeah, get those humans, make them batteries.
It's not great, but it was a good way to figure out how that actually all works.
I do think just like putting your solar panels up higher, it's probably a lot easier than all these human batteries. But
yeah.
You know what? I'm not a robot. I wasn't there.
You weren't.
Or am I?
Uh-oh. Are you a robot?
I don't know. I don't think so. But I think there's a lot of robots that I don't think they're robots.
No, that's true. Well, that's for a different podcast, I think.
That was probably for the last 3, really.
Yeah, I think so.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
That one was fantastic. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that was great.
The next one is called Kids Story.
And Neo's in this one.
Yeah. In part, I think, too, when there's a younger person out in the real world that Neo's introduced to. Is his name Kid?
This character? Yes.
In the Matrix movies, that is. Do you remember that young person who's like not in much and then goes and helps carry boxes and stuff in part 2?
Is that Kid?
So I wonder if this is how that kid gets into it. Because I remember the name being something like, oh, so there's a young kid and you just name him Kid? Terrible.
I hope it is Kid. I hope this is like the same kid and he has like a life in the Matrix.
So this was directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, who did Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo and stuff. So this guy he's a big deal.
I loved the look of this one. It
was cool. I think it was rotoscoped, which is fun.
What's a rotoscope?
Rotoscope is when you film people doing something in the real world and you draw over top of it. So their movements are exactly like a person's would be.
Right.
But not quite, because you don't have the joints exactly like it, but their outlines move exactly like a person would. But then it allows you, like in this one, the figures weren't as realistic as in some of the other ones, but since the movements are, it has this kind of weird dissonance to it that I like. Linklater did some cool rotoscope movies that when we're, again, ready to be philosophical and be first-year university students, we'll watch some of those Linklater ones and talk about them.
Sounds good.
But yeah, it was cool. It was a very loose animation style. It was very sketchy, and everything looked kind of like unstable in a way.
Yeah. It also looked a little bit, I was thinking like it was like doodled in a notebook.
Yeah.
Like it felt like this kid might have been writing this story just like on the margin of his math notebook.
Yeah, I think that fits that well. I liked it because we actually get to see some of these people who view Neo as the savior. There's kind of like how Neo saw Morpheus, but we don't actually understand how he knows about Morpheus or the Matrix.
No.
So this, since we have a little bit more background on Neo, was cool. There was that chase sequence on the skateboards. I thought that was animated very nicely, and the falling portion at the end was well done as well.
Yeah, and just like there was agents in this one, which I'm like, I'm really tired of the agents. If I never see another agent again, I'll be happy. But
these agents in all of these shorts, I liked so much better.
Yes.
Though, because they toned it down a bit and they had consistent rules.
Yes. But yeah, I really thought that this was kind of a fun backstory to how other people made it into the real world out of the Matrix.
So I think Kid removes himself from the Matrix because he dies is in the Matrix, but then awakens. I don't know how they found him then. They figured it out.
He whispered Neo's name as he was jumping.
Right, and that is
Neo.
There's a lot of that.
As we learned in the second and the third movies, you just have to be like, Neo, and everything's okay.
So that's another one where I liked it.
Yeah.
I think the Second Renaissance is my favorite, but pretty much all of these I think get a thumbs up. They were all pretty good.
Yeah, I thought this was a really nice way to kind of showcase some other aspects of the Matrix movies that maybe were a little questionable or kind of confusing.
The next one was called Program. This one was a very stylized art experiment. I think the art was the biggest thing of this one.
Yeah.
The story there wasn't much of a story. It's mostly a fight sequence. But it looked great. This was the one where there is two people there in a samurai style simulation. So they are fighting each other, and that's pretty much the movie. But it's someone being tested if they would betray Zion to go back into the Matrix. And I thought that was interesting because we get to see, outside of Cypher, some people who maybe regret their choices and want to go back. That's an interesting thing. I wish we had more of that.
I do think that this would be an issue, like people wanting to go back, because like if you make a decision, I mean, Neo was under duress, I think, when he made his decision. So I assume that like these are very like life or death decisions in the moment. And this was interesting to like have people who had been living in the real world and like not in the Matrix anymore. And that like, yeah, I think doubt would creep in eventually for some people. And it would be very much like, did I do the right thing? Creeping in the back of your head.
So let's go even lower stakes. If you learn that this entire life you're living is a simulation, do you want the real thing? And you're like, yeah, I want to build a real life. And then your real life, we're not even going to go, you're enslaved by machines and you live on a tiny ship. You just have to be camping. You're camping for now the rest of your life.
I'd go back.
See? And that's not even like that bad.
No. If I had to wear a holy sweater and camp for the rest of my life, I would not be in it.
Because there's you get to a point where, but what is the difference?
Yeah.
If you think something is real, does it matter that it's fake?
Yeah. At least in the other one, I assume I have like an apartment and a bed.
Well, you have this life.
Yeah.
This exact life right now.
Oh, I would take this life then.
Yeah.
I like this life.
Maybe if I could go back and not remember that it's fake.
I assume that the NyQuil just like erases your memory a little bit.
Well, I think that was the deal that Cypher made, but...
Yeah.
Because I couldn't go back to a world that I knew was fake because, you know me, I overthink everything.
Yes.
And then I would go insane because I was like, well, then what is real? What
Yeah.
does really matter? Does this matter? And I'd probably start doing insane stuff.
Right. You just
It's like, this isn't even real.
lose touch with
But
reality.
then the consequences would be, I guess, real,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if I killed someone in the Matrix world, I'd go to Matrix jail. And then
Yeah.
I'd just be like, huh, yeah, but the joke's on you. This isn't even a real jail. What's the difference?
Yeah. I think I'd want to stay in the Matrix. I mean,
I don't know. I'd have to, that's one of those things I'd have to actually have happen because I know myself and I am stubborn in certain ways. And the concept of being perpetually tricked, I don't think would sit well with me.
yeah, I could see that.
Also, I'm better at camping.
You are better at camping than I am. I am a cozy indoor girl, and I don't.
You're an
know.
indoor cat.
I am an indoor cat, and I don't think that having a lifetime of sleeping outside would make me happy,
No.
even if I was sleeping outside with you.
But I might not even exist in this one.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Whoa.
All right, so program looked real cool. I didn't love the voice acting, and there wasn't too much to it. But I guess I like that idea of the test, how like people are also using simulations to trick other people. I liked all of these because it shows you different aspects of the things we know, and we only see them used in one way, and now we can see like, oh, there's shades of gray to all of this.
Yes, and there's like other options other than the things that we saw in the movies.
The next one was called World Record, that deals with a sprinter who is going to break the world record.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. You were spitting all sorts of like sprinter facts at me during this one, so
I was just telling
did go
you
back and like watch it
where
again.
the world record changed. I was just
Right.
saying, well, in 96 it was 9.84, and then I was...
I just think it's fun that you have like all of this knowledge about stuff, and it's always fun when it comes out. I know that Donovan Bailey won it,
In 1996, 9.84.
and then Usain
Atlanta.
Bolt. But I don't know the actual like second timeage.
And in case you were wondering out there, 9.58.
Yeah. So this athlete ran 8.99 seconds.
8.99?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then
That's not going to happen in our lifetime, that's for sure.
he gets a gold medal. It's revoked due to
Right.
drug use. So we get to kind of see this like superhuman side of athletes and what happens with drug use.
Do you think he was using drugs?
I don't think so.
I think that he is capable of breaking through the matrix through a different means than other people. Like
Yes.
Neo gets through because he's, I don't know, Jesus Buddha. And people get through different ways. He has such physical prowess.
Prowess.
Why can't I say prowess?
Prowess.
He's so fast
Yeah.
that he breaks the matrix.
Right.
And that's cool. I like that, like a different way that people are doing these things. And I was going to say it's like a mind over body, but it's a body over mind in this one. He's so fast that the agents have to come and be like, whoa, what's this guy doing? I like that as a jumping off point. I wish we had superhero movies in the Matrix world instead of just getting all these movies about robots shooting robots.
Yeah.
Have it in the Matrix and there's superheroes, because we know that there's like vampires and werewolves that are remnants of old programs. And let's see that.
I want to see a vampire werewolf movie, but Matrix.
I want to see like a Spider-Man movie and like, oh, how's he have all these powers? Was he bitten by a radioactive spider? It's like, no, he's breaking through
Yeah.
partially through the Matrix, just like the Sprinter is. That's a really interesting idea.
Yeah, I like that. And I don't think he was using drugs. I think he's like Neo has like Matrix powers.
Yeah. But it's weird because his Matrix body can't handle the powers because his muscles
Yeah.
start exploding at the end. But he can keep running
He can keep running, which is crazy.
because it's a simulation.
Yeah,
They're not real muscles.
they're not real muscles. It's all fake.
I would have liked if he broke through and then woke up in the pod rather than being confined to a wheelchair now. But then he can like break through his... It was like kind of bolted down or something in that one.
Yeah, I couldn't really figure out what was going on with that.
I think there were some kind of leg braces.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting.
I thought this was cool. And yeah, seeing other ways that people make it into the Matrix is interesting. Sorry, out of the Matrix. I keep thinking that the Matrix is the place that you go, but it's the place you're coming from.
Yes.
Yes.
And then there was Beyond.
I liked this one because it looked like some of our, like, Kiki and all of those movies.
Oh, yeah, I was saying how I thought it looked like, I always forget his name, Mamoru Hosoda, who did Girl Who Leapt Through Time and other things, because they have that kind of simplistic animation on the people and then these beautiful backgrounds.
Just so detailed and gorgeous.
I loved how in this one they did this 3D effect because they would have kind of 3 layers to the background and had them moving at slightly different paces. And they did kind of a handheld point of view shot a bunch of times. It looked great. I really enjoyed that.
I liked the background of this a lot, and it did kind of remind me of places that we went in Asia. Like, it felt like what a big city kind of looks like in some little places.
I'm not sure if it was supposed to be Tokyo or it looks something. It's a big Japanese city. The director on this was Koji Morimoto, who I actually don't know his other stuff, but he worked on things like Akira, which is kind of the most important animes of all time, but he wasn't directing that. He was an animator on it and some other big stuff, but I've not seen his stuff that he's directed, so maybe I need to see more of it because I really liked the look of this.
I liked it. I liked the way that the characters moved. I found it very distracting that one of the voice actors was the actor who played Phil and Lil in Rugrats.
Right away, I was like, is that Phil and Lil?
And I was just thinking that sounded like Rugrats.
And I'm pretty sure there's Bobby from King of the Hill. I heard that voice too.
Oh.
That was the other one because there was like a couple of those kids together.
Yeah.
But it looked great. Also, I thought it was a really cool idea, like I was saying about these glitches in the Matrix and how they would be in the real world. I would love to see that explored. And in this, there's a haunted house, and it's not a haunted house, it's a glitch in the Matrix. And that's a really cool idea. I wish there was 20 Matrix movies, and we don't get to see any more Neo or anything. We get to see a superhero movie, but they're in the Matrix. That's how they're superheroes.
Yeah.
We get to see a vampire movie. The vampires are just like an old, outdated program, but it's in the Matrix. And a haunted house movie, that's just a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah. I like it.
Fun. Or
I
maybe
like it a lot.
all of these movies are. The others is just a Matrix sequel and we don't even know it because it came out before the Matrix. Dracula is just a Matrix movie.
Yeah, it's just an old program.
Yeah.
A really old program. Whoa. So, yes, that was Bobby King of the Hill and also the voice actor who did Phil and Lil.
That was very clear because I was like, oh, that is... I couldn't tell at first. I was like, hey, that's Phil's voice. No, that's Lil's voice. Oh, it's right in between. And that makes sense. That's
it's
one
the
person
same
who did the
person.
Yeah.
And she also did the mom.
Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Oh. Rugrats is a fantastic show.
It is. I watched a lot of Rugrats.
Me
as a
too.
child.
It was always on at like 5-ish.
Yes, it was always when I was sitting. Like I was inside. I think I watched Rugrats like every day for years.
I think at Christmas I watched, they have that Hanukkah movie. That was pretty good.
They had a Hanukkah movie?
Yeah.
That's fun. I haven't really kept up with Rugrats. I think I'm behind. I'm just glad they never did a live action Rugrats.
Oh God.
Can you imagine how terrifying that would be?
Grotesque.
Grotesque.
I would rather not imagine. But I did like that you have agents coming to like shut down this haunted house because it's a glitch in the Matrix and people are playing in there. There's a cat. You know, I'm going to like that. I think this one was a lot of fun too. I liked pretty much all of these. And this was the lightest tone of any of them. And
yeah,
not my favorite because Second Renaissance was so good, but I thought this was very good.
I did enjoy this one in the playfulness of it because there's a lot of really serious topics in the rest of them.
Yeah.
And this one was like, yeah, kids would find the place that was the glitch in the Matrix and like play in there and bring other people there and like it would become a thing. And this was very much like, obviously they're going to go to this abandoned building and then that abandoned building just happens to have like a glitch in it. And then you get to like play with gravity and stuff.
Sounds fun.
It sounds so cool. I would have gone.
I totally would.
Yeah.
Next is A Detective Story. And this is another one directed by Watanabe. So he got 2 movies in this. And this one is cool because it's a PI who's hired to track down Trinity. and they make it look like an old film noir with the shadows, and it's black and white. And then when they have these shots of not scenery, but like of the city, it looks like an old newspaper photo, right? Because it's all speckly, and it looks very true to life in the backgrounds, but then the people are very much cartoonish. So seeing all of this Matrix style stuff that we're familiar with, but a very different look, was a lot of fun to make it look all film noir-y.
That's what was cool about this set of movies, was you got to see a lot of different looks.
Yeah.
To something that like we've only really seen one look for, because it was really only about like 5 people.
And even the two that Shinichiro Watanabe did, a detective story and kid's story, look very different. When you talk about it, you're like, okay, I could see some similarities there, but
if I didn't know who had directed them, I don't know that I would know that they were done by the same person, because they are very different.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought that this Trinity was like maybe a little bit more fleshed out.
Yeah, it's funny how
like how a cartoon can do a better job of being a character. And also just the kind of the backstory of people who have tried to find Trinity in the past.
Yeah, I liked how it did mirror some things we've seen, because it's another person looking for Trinity, and they have the bug placed in them, and he has it pulled out of his eye rather than the Neo's was his belly button.
Yeah.
So having those same things, but seeing them in a very different way, I thought it was good. I don't remember nearly as much of this outside of the visuals. The story didn't quite grab me quite the same way as some of the others, but I still enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. I mean, I feel like they talked about like Alice's adventures in Wonderland in the first movie.
Yeah.
It was like Follow the White Rabbit and like falling down the rabbit hole. And so you get a little bit of that in this one too. And also it was kind of neat to see this on a train. Like, was this the train? Was this the train man's train?
Oh, I forgot about all that. No, because this world made sense. And I don't even want to bring the train man and that train that wouldn't be for anyone to ever use. Yeah. But
I'm the
all of these made
man.
Sense. That's one of the greatest things about them.
Yes. And they're well tied up at the end.
Yeah, and they didn't constantly contradict themselves or each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like they had a plan of what all of this meant, and then the Wachowskis just got like carried away into their own nonsense. I didn't talk about this very much on the last one, but it reminds me a lot of George Lucas. How you can look at, I think, the first 3 chronologically released ones, Star Wars movies, are great. I think they're all very good movies. And then the prequels came out, starting with Phantom Menace, and you're like, how did that guy make this?
Yeah.
And it's because when you are young and starting out and people don't believe in you, you are reined in.
You've got like parameters to work in.
I have very, very little experience in film, but just in the creative world in general, when you have parameters and you can't do whatever you want, it's easier to focus yourself on what you can do. If someone just says, do whatever you want, whenever you want, you're like, oh, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
And you start spiraling and you get carried away.
Yes.
And once you've been a success, nobody's saying no to you.
Exactly. And they're giving you money. Like you just have unlimited everything.
And when you're doing maybe the first Matrix or the first Star Wars movies, you're going to let the cinematographer do the cinematography.
Yes.
You're going to let screenwriters work on your script. You're going to let stunt people do the stunt stuff. You're not going to be like, I know everything. Look how big I am. And it kind of feels like George Lucas really gets carried away in those other ones. And these two, I think the Wachowskis they're victims of their own hubris. And they're like, I can do whatever I want. Look at all these things. And you're like, and you, the viewer, like, what are you doing though?
Yeah, but why are we doing all these things?
Focus this towards something. And there was just none of that through the other Matrix movies and the Star Wars prequel. So I feel like they just get carried away because they can and they don't have anyone to stop them.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And these felt very palatable after the nonsense.
Are we on to our last one?
I think so.
Our last one is called Matriculated. And this was done by Peter Chung, who does the Aeon Flux stuff, if you are familiar with that.
Not really.
No, I more meant to the audience.
Oh.
I assume you have not watched an anime that I have not shown you.
Correct. that would be true.
This one, I did not love the art style at first. But then when they go into those other worlds, into the simulations, they change the style and it gets like psychedelic at times. There's some 3D effects at times. So I grew to like it. I liked the variation of art style to represent the different things going on in it.
Mm-hmm. This was a good use of, look at all the things I can do. Like I don't remember as much about the story of this one, but I enjoyed watching it.
Well, I guess the central premise of it is really interesting too, because here it's humans attempting to convert a captured machine into thinking that their side is the good side. Mm-hmm. And they don't just reprogram it. And they talk about it, I can't remember exactly why, but if you reprogram it, it's not the same. It's just going to do, it's not going to be a true believer. I don't know why they can't just reprogram it. Instead, they try to insert it into a simulated reality and indoctrinate a machine into believing their side. So this is the second time now we've seen humans using simulations for nefarious means to try to trick other people. Mm-hmm. It was the testing of the one, and now to convince this robot that their side's the good side. And then it works, right? Because then the robot starts fighting for them.
Yeah, that was interesting. And like another way to look at all of this, which is interesting.
Yeah, this was one that I didn't really appreciate at the time, but it is a very thought-provoking premise. And it's a shame because it keeps leading me to think about how we just watched 4 Matrix movies that explore the Matrix and its implications for what it means for people, what these simulations mean, how living this life under the robot rule and then trying to come back. The real toll and meaning of all of that is not explored in the Matrix movies nearly as well as it is here. Mm-hmm. And most of these people doing it in like 5-10 minutes sometimes.
Yeah. Whoa. You said that well.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to start a podcast where I'm going to just talk about stuff like that.
Great.
It's going to be called Indy Talks Too Much with Indy Randhawa. But yeah, I thought the Animatrix was, you know what, great.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Maybe it's good that we did this last because it leaves a better Matrix taste in my mouth than those other movies did. It is kind of bittersweet because it makes you realize all the things that they could have been doing in those movies had they just had a little more ambition or direction or were curious about these things rather than just talking about philosophical ideas on the surface and just going, hey, free will, huh? Yeah, what about it? Free will, man.
Whoa, free will.
And this is delving into things, just one little tiny part of it at a time. And it was very interesting. And it makes you want to talk about all of those ideas more, which is what the first Matrix movie did well. And I wish they kept it up, but at least we have this Animatrix kind of carrying it along.
Yeah, I agree. So this came out between the second and the third movies. So I feel like this would have explained a lot of things.
Yeah, but it also doesn't help you for the third movie or anything because all the things that we need explanation on, it's not about like, how did this robot nation come into play? Mm-hmm. We don't even get there. We're like, oh, so Neo has superpowers outside of the Matrix. Why? And it's not going to tell you anything about that.
Yeah.
Those movies never told you anything about that.
Yeah, you're right. But the little glimpses of the Matrix and the real world that we got in these shorts were fantastic. And I really enjoyed learning more about the backstory. And also, yeah, I think I have a better taste in my mouth after watching this.
And I wish other things did this more. Mm-hmm. Instead of 12 new Star Wars TV shows that don't really go anywhere, just give me a couple shorts that are like from different parts of the galaxy. Let me see how on the day the Death Star blew up, how did it affect different places?
Yeah.
Give me 5-10 minute shorts on different worlds reacting to the downfall of the Empire. That'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
So many things you could do that way. We just don't need so much content. Give me nice short little bits. Give me thought-provoking ideas, not another season of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Or Boba Fett. Boba Fett already died. God.
He died like 45 years ago, didn't he?
Yeah. Darth Maul's dead. He got cut in half and thrown down a pit. How's he back?
Yeah, right?
Darth Sidious is dead. Somehow he's returned? Come on, guys. All right, now I'm just complaining. Maybe we should wrap it up.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, that was the Matrix series.
Oh, yeah. All of them.
All of them.
Okay, final ranking.
Oh, God. 1, Animatrix.
Over the Matrix.
Oh, no, 1. Matrix 1.
Oh, comma, Animatrix.
Yes. No, 1, The Matrix. 2, Animatrix. 3, probably Resurrections. And then Reloaded, and then Revolutions.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with any of that.
I had a hard time with the last 3 there.
If I put them side by side and they're completely untouched from anything else, I might put the Animatrix ahead of the Matrix, which I realize is crazy, but you can't because you can't have the Animatrix without the Matrix.
That's kind of what I was thinking with that ranking.
So I'm going to go Matrix, Animatrix. Number 3, I'd go Reloaded, the second one. And then I'd go Resurrections, the fourth one. I feel like 2 and 4 are very close. Neither are good, but they don't actively aggravate me.
Yes.
Oh, no, they did. But not as much as last place is...
Revolutions.
Revolutions. What a piece of garbage.
Yes.
That one was just terrible.
Yeah. I think I'm done with the Matrix for a while.
Oh, I'm done with the Matrix. I think maybe forever.
Yeah, forever's a long time. I didn't want to like commit to forever, but yeah.
When the new one comes out, will I watch it? I probably will. I'm not paying for it.
No.
I will wait till it is free.
But we'll be like, oh yeah, remember how there's like a 5th Matrix movie now?
Remember how much we hated the 4th one? Let's give it one more chance and see if it can redeem itself and explain some of these things.
Explain yourself, Matrix.
Yeah. So we did a bunch of new episodes. Let's bring a classic episode next week. And you know what? We're doing fighting. We were doing Keanu. We were doing long black coats. So let's rebroadcast our John Wick episode. I feel like that kind of fits in here. And then the week after, we'll get back at it with some things of the fortnight and what we'll be watching for the weeks after that.
Weeks and weeks.
No, just 2.
Okay. Okay, bye everyone.
Goodbye.